Hello everyone, this is Gw2 speaking in the video about hybrid Solitary Elegance. To make it faster, this build is created for the future when the trait change comes. This build is designed to see if I can play without deceptive evasion and be still useful. The purpose of this particular video is to capture some numbers, so when the trait change comes I can compare the new build to the old build and see how much mesmer has changed and how much of my predictions were true. One additional area which will buff me indirectly is the fact that right now traits give me a lot of vitality, healing power, toughness, defensive stats. When this gets disjointed, I will go more into damage. And if it kills me too much, I will simply compensate adding some accessory of defensive kind. One last thing to notice. I do have food and utility bonus already, but I usually use between 5 and 25 mites because of bountiful interruption, so my real stats are much higher than those you see right now. Okay, so this clip shows what happens when I do everything right. It also shows the amount of impulse damage I can deal. Note, 5 mites come from the mantra. From that moment I haven't dropped below 5-10 mites. And I have self-generated 21 mites at one point. What was important in this fight was permanent immobilized chaotic interruption dealt. Enemy couldn't avoid anything at all. Another video showing impulse damage. I ambush a ranger and a thief in the camp I'm defending. First, I entrap the ranger inside the warden and burst him with blood frenzy. Thief is inside Shadow Refuge, so he doesn't move out. With the clones I have, it is enough for me to stomp the ranger. Then I put up Chaos Storm to create some boons for myself. Enemy thief enters the Chaos Storm, gets interrupted, thus immobilized. I warlock, shatter with 10 mites, and it doesn't end well. Similar situation here, a ranger and a thief attack the Doliak. I reflect the ranger which poisons him because the sigil prost on his attack. Entrap ranger, down him, Chaos Storm. The thief tries to come back to help the ranger, and the same Chaos Storm, mantra and warlock happens. Okay, so this build does have the burst. So why Sinister instead of pure Berserker? Well, first of all, I will never ever outburst a Shatter Mesmer, it's impossible. But the second is that sometimes you face enemies with high toughness. Then 13 bleeds with 5 mites deal 1300 damage. In the same time your Warlock will deal about 2500 damage with a crit if you are lucky, with the same 5 mites. So this is about balanced encounters and being able to counter absolutely everything. For glassy opponents you've got burst. For the opponents who have high toughness, you've got the conditions. And you've got poison as a tool of massive hatred. Okay, so the videos up to this point did not show the importance of poison. The classes you need poison the most are mostly elementalists and engineers. The celestial ones, of course. I haven't managed to find an opponent like that yet, so I've got only this clip here. So the engineer is very low on hit points, he tries to escape, I try to catch him, normal stuff. But Ng or LA are dead only when they are dead. Note I have applied poison to him and note that his hit points does not budge, doesn't change. Between my conditions, condition damage, and poison applied, he does not recover. When I change to staff with Earth Sigil, you can see he simply starts to regenerate. And with all the favorable conditions, I could have lost that. So yeah, double poison. Then I can cry when the poison gets applied to Mesmer Clone or to Ranger Pet. Okay, so now, Scepter Staff Mesmer, Condition Mesmer, who is reinforced by a Necromancer later. Scepter Staff Mesmer has a great disadvantage, he is completely reflectable. And he hopes I will kill his clones, while I won't, simply because I want to have some bountiful interruption from them. Note that the Mesmer seems to be rabid. The damage I deal him comes mostly from condition damage, not from power damage, while he tries to kite me. Okay, so between millions of blinds and the Necromancer coming, I was not able to finish the Mesmer. But what the Mesmer does is he stays on point, on the ruin. He tries to surround me with clones, but I need only some time. Enough to weapon swap and pull everything inside with a curtain, to entrap everything inside a warden. Between 11 mites and 14 bleeds on a Mesmer, I shouldn't have shattered because, well, how was I supposed to stomp properly? But yeah, staying in melee with a Necromancer when the Mesmer is already dead, having interrupts, immobilizes and reflects, you have seen this happen earlier. Okay, so deceptive evasion, or rather lack of deceptive evasion. What pains me the most is lack of clones to be able to distort stomp, or well shatter for any meaningful damage. When Illusionary Persona becomes baseline for a Mesmer, this will be stronger. And pitiful damage from a staff will become stronger too because of bouncy trait, Illusionary Elasticity. Now the build I'm using is a party-oriented build, it is not a solo build. Having a solo potential helps a lot though. In this video, a Guardian comes to the point and is promptly reinforced by the Condition Mesmer from the previous video, but the Condition Mesmer plays differently this time. What kills me in this fight is the fact I cannot stomp properly. then I get attrition to conditions. Anyway, the problem exists here. I can't kill them. Not like this, I mean staying in the ruin, with the Guardian 1-1-1ing me to death, and with the mesmer kiting me away from the ruin. And if I let them take the ruin, Drakkars will be able to hold free. In short, they will retake the Bloodlust bonus. Okay, so this battle plan will not work. Condition mesmer is very kiteable, and the Guardian seems like one who wants to come after me. So maybe I can use some line of sighting and some higher grounds to be able to defeat them. And this is why I love Northeast Ruin so much. Thanks to the interrupt, Guardian has been immobilized for a moment, and I am face to face with a mesmer. I can't kill him yet, but what I can do is apply poison and use the portal to charge Mantra of Destruction. Then, between Chaos Storm and Mantra, I am able to create the burst. Where is the burst in my build? It is in mites. No single skill deals a lot of damage in this build. It is the combination of power damage and condition damage, which are constantly changed by the amount of mites you have. And exactly this moment, me downing this mesmer, has doomed me to lose this fight. None of my opponents deal a lot of damage. I should have started stomping in the second I have downed the mesmer, but I used the curtain to pull them around, to protect the stomp. But this means that after mesmer moves, I am not able to stomp him properly and the Guardian is able to get him up. In the party, this would be exactly what I should have done, but in the solo play, I should have changed the strategy. Because in a party, either someone else would down the Guardian, who is immobilized at this point, or someone would be able to stomp the mesmer. I was so shocked that I made a mistake and didn't port up, so I died. Okay, so last video, this time with a true real Predator impression. In this video I do not notice that I don't have the food bonus, so I don't have plus 40% condition duration. In the build like this one, it means that the build loses about 30% of damage. What is important in this clip is not exactly the damage I deal, but how important is the plus condition duration food to the build, as it influences both conditions and immobilize, but also how I use this build in the situation like this. So what happens here? First of all, the Necromancer is body defended by the guards. So very often my poison doesn't apply to the Necromancer, but to the random guard. Then the guards really are a nuisance. The Necromancer uses the guards properly, he hides behind them and tries to control me so the guards will deal damage to me. This is why I use the Ascended Infusions, anti-World vs. World guards. Now, very interesting moment. I have traded a lot of hit points for the Mantra of Destruction. I'm critically low, but the Necromancer isn't high either. But between the Mantra, the Curtain, the Warden and shattering the Warden, I was able to down the Necromancer first. But there was nothing I could have done to defeat the Necromancer. If I didn't mass invis, he would down me. What I shouldn't have done is try to stomp him. The guards rest him. So yeah, it was all like, screw it all, I'm going to play with Dolliacs. At least Dollies understand me. Okay, but the Necromancer likes his Dollies too, and he has a small advantage here. So I have burnt my invulnerabilities, attempted I'm going to kill the Dolliacs, then hid behind the house to charge the Mantra, and to prepare the portal, to escape portal. In the meantime, the conditions have put the Dolliacs in combat, so they didn't regenerate. From this moment on, the guards stopped existing, the Necromancer stopped existing, only the Dolliacs were my goal. Which meant I got quite a lot of damage from guards who interrupted me and immobilized me. The remainder of this video is exactly what you have seen up to this point. Okay, so does this build work? Definitely yes. Is it perfect? Definitely no. Would Deceptive Evasion help in place of Blade Training? Perhaps. Can I play with Mistrust in place of Deceptive Evasion? Definitely yes. And very low auto attack from the staff will be compensated by Illusionary Persona and Illusionary Elasticity traits. Can't wait for trait changes. More portal, more mass invisibility, staff is stronger, more reflections, and of course the enemies will be stronger too. This is where the fun part comes. The game is going to be like new, but no guard stacks and no stats from traits means the game will be better balanced. So thank you for watching, Urxal is out.